welcome to the Ron Paul channel. I know our viewers have a lot to say about the topics we discuss. Now is your chance to be involved. Let's go to Diana Alviar in the newsroom with your viewer questions.
Hi, Ron. The first Twitter question comes from Tim McGaffin. Ron, you've said before we could do a monetary policy even better than the gold standard. What are some ideas?
You know, that statement has been made by me quite frequently, but to clarify it slightly, is that there's a better gold standard. I want the market to determine what standard it is. It may be a basket of commodities. This is something that Frederick Hayek brought about and wrote about, is let the market decide what the monetary system should be, not government. In our gold standard, a lot of people will say to me, oh, Ron Paul just wants to go back to the gold standard of the 19th century, and that isn't the position, because a lot more is known about monetary policy now than before. Matter of fact, our original gold standard was bimetallism. They fixed the ratio between gold and silver. It was very awkward, and though it worked better than anything that we've had since we've had a paper fiat standard, even with that imperfect gold standard, it maintained value over many, many years, where in the last 100 years with the Fed managing the paper money, we've lost 98% of the money. So I think you could have a market-oriented gold standard, but I wouldn't be adamant and say, oh, it has to be gold. You know, right now there's big talk in the marketplace about Bitcoin, and that may or may not work, and it looks like it must be working because the government wants to crack down on those people who are using it. But it is a little complex, but that is the thing that you would legalize in a free society. You let people decide what monies are. You know, when society breaks down, like during wartime or depressions and runaway inflation, people automatically go to picking up some commodity to be a currency. And they've done this for literally centuries. When they drifted away from bartering, the natural thing was to go to gold and silver. But they've been imperfect because government has always managed the gold standard, and they usually messed them up until finally even that gold standard broke down. So the gold standard didn't disappear in one night. It took quite a few years for them to destroy it. It took them from 1913 to 1971 to totally destroy the gold standard. But I want the market to make these determinations. My guess is that they would use metals always, but if they use other commodities, or if they come up with something that is like a Bitcoin, as long as there's no fraud, then it would be legal. That would be the one prohibition, and no counterfeiting. And yet today we have a system where it's fraudulent for the cartel to print money and pass it out to their friend. That's what our system does right now. And also, they counterfeit money. If you or I printed money, we'd go to jail. But we accept this notion that the politician, in collusion with bankers, can print as much money as they want to pay off their debts. So yes, there's a much better standard. The market knows the best. It probably would have hard assets, and it may well include a gold standard, because the old gold standard was far from perfect.
You know, what's interesting about that question, Ron, is that it means that people really are paying attention to everything that you say. So let's go to our next question. This one comes from 58_Doe15. Can you explain the, quote, general welfare clause